I have to copy 2 murders and then break impossible. Yeah.
But there's no chance to reward it, huh?
Yeah. Hold on.
You gotta use that one first, because you won't be able to copy the other one.
Oh. Okay. I didn't know if it would let me copy over it.
I don't think it does.
Whatever. Whoa. Yeah, I know.
Yada. No, that's wrong!
Get out of here.
Get out of here! Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved. What do you mean? If there'd only been 1 murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only 1 person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit. Risk versus reward benefit? The payoff for working together, the reward that balances out the risk of taking part in the scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible. Can't talk.
You're saying that 2 people could act as each other's accomplices to commit 2 separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out on helping them later on. So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating 2 separate incidents. So it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan, and then to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful! How could anyone be so cruel?
Yeah, how could anyone treat him like a swine? You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us that the 2 murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning. Which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this. I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings? That's problem numero 1 right now! The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions, and in the end, murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded, would you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit? Who is it?
Sakura! Not me!
Not me!
Byakuya. It's Donald! It just has to be! Who is it?
Who is it?
Celeste.
I got it!
It's Celeste.
Yes, it's Celeste. It was Celeste. Ah, so I'm a suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying then is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him. That I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains! That lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Ahem. Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the 2 of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it's only further proves that the 2 of you were working together.
What is it that only Hifumi and Celeste have in common?
The screaming!
The screaming!
No, that's this one.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Ifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect that what Celeste has said as well. Yeah.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Ifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor, specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all up to the physics lab on the third floor.
She let out the blood-curdling scream.
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what is it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong?
That was rather intense screaming.
Oh my god, I've done this so many times.
Costume man, he ran off as soon as I screamed.
Walked
the stairs. Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Huh? Well, what was that?
Played this one 6 times.
Yep,
It's the Fumi, he's gonna die. Oh no.
It was to get us to divide into 2 groups so we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split into 2 groups?
Like the hunting party, it seems more interesting.
Very well, then Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave to capture the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Ifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. On top of that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Ifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Ifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know is only pretending to be dead. I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Ifumi would be murdered. Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds. I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
I like how they didn't mention the fact that he was trying to pin it on Hiro when he was still alive. They've glossed over the fact. I mean, yeah, that probably comes up, but I'm just saying this entire case, they glossed over one of the biggest events that happened during the whole thing.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Ifumi's body disappeared, right? Yeah, I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then was that? She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Ifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, it's funny because I did the same thing, Byakuya. Looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must be really enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys died! I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were the first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Ifumi had been killed, so Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste and the 4 of us headed to the nurse's office. Now the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it, Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place. Yeah, I see what you're talking about, although I don't really get what it means. How? You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Byakuya said this last comment didn't make sense, but what is he alluding to?
Come on, you have a big thing about this? It's like, this baby work. Of Monokuma File 3, of course. Of course!
Of course! Of course! All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die just like those guys died. And that is all I said. And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Oh, wait,
That's not contradicting him.
Oh, that's, again, I forget that that's how this, like, thing works. Again,
Yeah.
I'm in my own head. I was like, that makes sense, because what's so strange? That
That
comment.
is strange, yeah. So then what is it, though? Because I think I got confused with this one.
The sight of us standing...
Around for
Or no, what's so strange? Maybe I copy what's so strange and then break.
And then, yeah, break
Yeah,
that.
that's what contradicts it. Okay, so I just had it reversed.
Yeah.
Yeah, see. Yeah, I know. No! No! I didn't hold it!
What?
Oh my, I didn't hold it, I just pressed it and it registered it as a hold. Well, I mean, at least it didn't cost me anything. I
Yeah.
can just copy this one. Now we just have to sit through.
Okay.
Okay, why would you make that the same button?
I don't know.
That's so stupid. The A button's not being used.
Yeah, that's just right here.
Oh, that's true. Wait, which button's not being used? B is sped up. This.
X is to bring up the menu to see the truth bullets. They are all being used.
Triggers aren't being used. There are buttons that aren't being used.
Triggers are being used.
This is to switch.
Yep.
Bullets.
Yep.
This is to slow down time.
Yep.
These are not being used at all.
But originally in a PSP, they didn't have the trigger buttons. They just have. They don't have the buttons.
You're right. No, you're right. They just had the two top buttons. It's kind of stupid that the shoot and the thing would be the same.
Yeah.
Maybe holding A makes more sense. Or something like holding a different button than the shoot button.
Could be. You can speed it up, you know. You don't have to sit here for as long. There you go. There you go. No, that's wrong! That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died.
I always forget that it's from PSP though. I always forget this is
When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead. Well, it's because nothing ever good was made on the PSP, and then all of a sudden
Shit, you right?
Hmm.
Exactly, and we didn't run into her until after we were all out of the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? How did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too. You all have such vivid imaginations, you know that?
Imaginations?
You claimed that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? Celeste put the suit on and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist? Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away? What could you possibly mean by that? Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up. No, there is no other explanation. I love that face. Other explanations?
But just that, it's like, no, there's nothing else.
No. If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is...
They are dancing! They've been drinking!
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away. That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even further. If you saw someone wearing something like that in the situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened. You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this.
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away. Ridiculous. It is? I don't think it's ridiculous at all. Then shut her mouth and allow me to educate you. Celeste thinks she can prove there's no way Hifumi is dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? She can put everyone at defense.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone at defense.
Oh, God. All right. We got a bunch.
So we'll probably one of these.
Yeah.
You just ripped the suit after I passed out. Then you just dragged me across the Fumi and him carrying my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy. Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside wearing the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that. Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all! Chill, really?
Just stop.
No way!
Alright, so how do I piece that together?
If I remember right, Hina said she said that she couldn't bend at the waist.
Oh, okay.
So look at...
No, it's
the
this.
costume, yeah. Alright, wait, yeah. Not bad. This is really ridiculous.
I don't want to skip any of these because I think
Yeah,
it's
perfectly standing upright. It's the standing upright one. After this. Then the conscious, but then it's the next one. Yeah, standing straight. No, that's wrong! No, even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that robo-justice suit had a certain characteristic. You totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like pretty obvious oversight.
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah. That's right. They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
Was it a mistake?
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was. Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specifically designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever in the suit was to blame.
I like that sprite.
Yeah, that's a nice sprite.
It is a nice
That's
sprite.
a nice sprite. That's it.
Well then, I suppose this is a checkmate.
Checkmate? Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Oh no.
Celeste? Clearly you want me to cram me into your little guilty box? Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
There we go.
Yep. Hey, Hifumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you?
Who killed me? That's right, I remember their name. Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure! This voice is gonna murder me.
Hagakure?
Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro, it's actually Taro.
Taro.
Taro?
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated. He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at the hero? What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive! This voice is gonna murder me.
Oh yeah.
Kyoko, what do you mean by that? Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
He said, for serious, hello!
Yeah, that's right!
He's like closing this.
I got it! That's right, our last names. He called us each by our last names. Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example.
I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi.
So many fucking times, I can't believe it. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure. I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance he just... his first name! Indecent!
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? Now there's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more. So Hifumi is trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him. But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here. Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is. What? What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusations so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit. Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What? I think I have the right to be a little on edge! Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name? Fine! Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg! Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again? Celestia won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it.
E-handbook. Oh yeah, because it's
Show us your e-handbook.
Show me your moves.
Show me your moves. Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro. If there's one person here who might have that last name. It will have to be useless. You haven't told anyone what your real name is. How many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
Down.
Because it's cool looking.
Okay.
How long do you plan to go on pretending? I'm not pretending, it's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me... No, that's wrong! That's it, the handbook. What? Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
Here we go, flashback to Monokuma.
This handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check our handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name. That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate. Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us. Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen! Fine then, let me settle. Let me go over the case again from the beginning and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end. Closing
arguments. Oh god, that's horrible.
I know.
Oh, what is... These are weird, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Hifumi's drawn in a very weird style for these.
So this is Hifumi's room. He's got someone sitting there, I'm assuming telling him the plan.
Yep. I believe if you highlight over the question mark, it'll give you a hint. No, not in this game, it doesn't. You might have to come back to this one maybe once you've got less.
Yes, the ball!
The ball!
Yeah. Come back. Yasuhiro shows up.
I think it'd be that one probably.
They drug him. This is just his backpack. I really don't know what half of these are. Bag of chips? What are these? These are the fucking weirdest
I
things.
know.
I don't know what this one could be either. Maybe this one?
It might be that one there, possibly.
Oh no, that's this one.
Well, but that might go there instead of there.
Yeah, maybe.
And something else might go there.
I don't know. This one maybe. Maybe this one?
Could be. Here's a side shot. I was thinking the one of him leaning over and being weird might be that one.
Which one?
Keep going, that one.
No, that's just him pushing.
Oh, that's right, that's him pushing the dolly. So it can't be that. There's a bag of chips. Maybe it's that one, because it's the bag of chips on the table.
I guess. I don't know why this would matter.
I don't know, but you know.
This one's probably this one. Just because I don't know what else this would
It's a
be.
side shot. Looks like it would be.
Yeah, it matches up here. Actually, this looks like it would be here. Because they're looking at
Oh
each other.
yeah.
It's probably that. It's probably here. This is them like making a deal, right? Like
Yeah.
they're convincing
Yep.
him.
Yep.
I don't know what the fuck this one
We'll
is.
come back to that one later.
It's backpack because it's cut off.
Could be. I don't fucking know.
Alright.
Okay.
Put him in the
so
suit.
Put him in the suit.
He carried.
That's a
lifts
picture.
him
That's
up.
taking the picture. Okay, and then we have Taco.
Yeah.
That's the time. I want the clock.
Yeah.
So it'll be, yeah, on his wristwatch, because he's looking at his wristwatch in this picture.
He goes full Super Saiyan mode. Beams him over the head.
Ha. Justice Hammer 3. That's the one you murdered him with.
No, he murdered him with 4.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He's remembering they wanted to make it look like.
Yep. Taco was last.
This one.
Yep. Okay. Oh look, there's a camera of him being choked.
This is them going into the.
Nurse's office with, yeah, that's the library. So there he is. He's been hit.
Why the library?
Because that's where they found him the first time, when he'd been attacked. So he got attacked with Justice Hammer 2 before
Oh,
he
that's
was killed.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Before he was killed the first time.
Yes, before he was killed the first time. And then we got attacked like 3 times.
This would be Justice Hammer 2.
Yep, Justice Hammer 2 is there. There's his office. Yep, rub. He literally stabbed it on a spike. I love he flings it
He
everywhere.
did, yes. Flings it everywhere.
Justice Hammer 3.
Justice Hammer 3.
Yep, oh my god.
Oh no, we found him dead. Oh no, we found him
Oh
dead.
no. Yep, and that's him pushing.
Yep. I'm so crafty.
I love his little cat face. And that,
Yeah, they're so happy about it.
yeah. Ah!
Just beans him
There
over
is
the
beating
head.
him on the head.
This one.
That one. Okay, so we're still missing the
So
first
this is the
one.
first one, which could only be the clock.
Yes.
It literally makes me. It doesn't really make
It-
much sense, but it
It
has
has
to
to
be
be the clock, probably. Yeah,
No,
because it'll establish the time. If the clock says 1 a.m. Yeah, 1 a.m. That's
the clock. Okay.
right.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense because he shows up at 1
Okay,
a.m.
reenact. Here's exactly what happened! Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder, and that person was...
Yeah, see,
right?
that's what I thought.
Yeah. Hifumi, with an accomplice, the killer was able to execute the number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning.
Drug him.
Drug him. That someone they met with was Hiro.
That's a horrifying picture.
I know, right? The murderers still intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect, so when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him in the Robo Justice suit. Next, Ifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro.
So let's still waifu because this is well thought out.
I know, right? When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker.
Like, I'm just like, it makes me happy to know that she did this murder just specifically because
It's so
well done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, if
And if
Ifumi
anyone
hadn't
is gonna
fucked up,
throw me off,
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
if Ifumi hadn't fucked up and wiped off his glasses, we probably would have never caught
Oh
him.
yeah, I wouldn't have assumed Hifumi was the one who moved himself. Yeah.
And that's the only thing that led us to Celeste in the first
That
place.
and maybe the fact that
The
Celeste
fact that she was
well, no,
pretty-
what sort of led me to Celeste was
That she was pretty adamant about.
that she was adamant and that she was the only one calling out for help and stuff.
Yeah,
The
uh-huh.
one who made me think Hifumi was an accomplice was Hifumi,
Right.
which was why I was so suspicious.
But that was what would have led the characters to Celeste. Maybe
To
not
the
us
characters,
because we
yeah.
have an outside perspective, but. And then finally at 6 a.m. they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room.
I was gonna say, and also the only one who'd want to kill Taka is
Is
Fumi
Fumi.
for stealing it.
Right. Mhm. And that's when Ifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes.
Which is genius.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So next they falsified 2 more Souls victims. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. So the first fake incident was an attack on the Rec Room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Ifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds. That is totally a gambler thing to do as well.
Yeah.
That the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that, but while we did that, we left Ifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Ifumi was hoping for.
Magical girl transformation.
He took a blood packet from the refrigerator in Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found.
I like how Celeste is grayed out. Anyway, even though she should have been the one that was screaming in that, but they grayed her out because it was the killer.
Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching for Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even if Fumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Gone. Their plan all along was to kill Fumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Made out.
Yeah. Celeste, sorry, you lose.